Okay, so we've got our game. Now, it will get harder and faster as I click the ball. And if I miss, my lives go down, but I can get to negative lives, and I don't want that. So how do I fix that so I can't get to negative lives? Well, if I come in to here, just like I have if x gets too big, make x smaller, I can have another one that says if lives get too small, do something. Lives is less than what? If lives is less than what? Something should happen. Lives is less than 1, less than 0, whatever you want to do. So I'm going to say less than 1. And then something should happen if lives gets to be less than 1. So I should print some text to say you lost. So I'm going to write text. Right? And then where should I put it? I should put it somewhere in the middle-ish of the screen, just because. And that might be something like, oh, I don't know if it's, how wide is it? I can't remember. 600 wide, so we're going to call it 200, comma 300. Why not? And then if I run it, when I die, oh, there's my text. Oh, I put it too far down, but that's okay because now it's not. Otherwise, it would have been kind of on the ball, right? And I don't want that. All right. So, but now the game's still going. All right. So now, if I add another new function, here's a new function. I mentioned it in the description. If I do, all caps, I could do this, and this will now, when I game over. Nice. And that ends our game. Now, the next piece I want you to be able to do, though, is I want you to add another piece to this puzzle. Right now, if I get to here, the game is over, right? How do I play again? I would love to have some sort of some text to say, hey, do something, I want to restart the game. So how do I restart the game without coming over here hitting stop and play, right? I want a way to restart the game without having to do that. So that's the thing we're going to think about today, is how do we add that restart thing, and what should happen when we restart the game. That's the other piece that we need to think about. Okay, so right now what happens when I call the no loop function is that the draw function stops looping. Technically, the mouse function is still running. So every time I click the mouse, it still clicks. So if I was to add something into here, just so we can see it, I could go down here and I could write, again, because the console log allows us to see what's happening in our code. And if I just printed score right here, now if I run this, every time I click, it's going to print the score if I click the ball. See, there's the score down in the console log. Now if I lose, if I click, the mouse pressed function still gets called. So even though the draw function is no longer looping, the mouse press function still gets called. So we can use that. So I want you to think about how would you use that in order to be able to restart the game. And however you come up with restarting the game, you should print some text on the screen to give the player some indication of what they're supposed to do to restart the game. It could be click the screen somewhere. It could also be click a specific button on the screen. Well, how would you do that? Well, you'd have to draw a button, right? And then you would have to think about how you determine whether they touched the button or not. All right, so that's the next piece. What I want you to do now is get your game to this point if you weren't here already, and then I want you to add a way to restart the game once it's ended.